Hello, mate. It's me, Rusty the Sports Clown. Just kidding, I don't speak French. Check me out, it's gonna be so much fun. See ya.
Hey Lobo fans, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Samantha.
Jaguar Land Rover Albuquerque has been a family-owned business since 1988. The 2017 Jaguar F-Pace has been named the winner of the 2017 World Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year.
Land Rover's signature terrain response system is flawless against any curveball New Mexico weather can throw at you.
We have a class-leading extended warranty on all Jags and Land Rovers and one of the greatest pre-owned inventories in the state of New Mexico.
Call 505-797-3600 to schedule a test drive.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
For 55 years, people have bought trucks from Tillery in Los Lunas. We have a great selection of vehicles, a quality service department, and some of the best deals in the state. But most importantly, we found people prefer to buy trucks from people who actually drive trucks.
Tillery is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Locally owned and operated, located in Los Lunas, right off I-25, exit 203. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but 2 great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill.
And welcome everybody to another edition of the Sports Desk. I'm Scott Galletti. Glad to have you along here on Proview Networks, Comcast Channel 26, and ProviewNetworks.com. Ed Nunez not with us this week. He'll rejoin us next week. But right now we have a special guest. He's the head coach of the Duke City Gladiators, Dominic Bramante. And Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Scott. You know, we've got a little stuff to talk about here on the Sports Desk. I was preparing in kind of like pre-game mode to see how Scott Galletti was going to challenge me. So
you had your pre-game coffee.
Had the pre-game coffee.
Right, pre-game coffee, pre-game meeting, and now here we are.
We're ready to go. We practiced this morning, so I'm ready to take you on, Scott.
5-5 on the year. Talk a little bit. We're going to go in general right now. We'll get more into the specifics a little later. We'll keep you on for 2 segments here, if you don't mind. But
wow, 2 segments.
Yeah, 2 segments. Imagine that. So what we're going to do right now, Coach, is we're going to talk about the season. You're 5-5. Obviously not where you want to be, but in terms of what has happened with the close games and everything, and we were kind of joking. I was kind of joking, actually. You weren't joking about it because it kind of hits home. But your biggest loss of the year is 7 points.
Well, you know, the schedule that we had, we didn't have a very, fair schedule from our league. Mm-hmm. We're 5-5. We're 15 points away from being undefeated. That being said, we're still alive in the CIF playoff race. We've got a tough game Saturday against the Amarillo Venom.
It's about the 17th time this year that you played them.
Exactly. Our guys
only the 4th, actually, but yeah.
You know, the frustrating part is this is the best football team, I think, assembled in Albuquerque ever. The talent level is phenomenal. The players that we've lost as the season has gone on, whether it be to other leagues such as the CFL, other opportunities for players. We've lost great players. We haven't skipped a beat. Our players really, truly represent what pro football is all about, which is next man up. and our guys have really, they deserve some positive things to happen after, what's transpired so far this season.
Donovan Portery, I called his last 2+ seasons of college. I say plus because he was injured also and had to sit out a while. Talk a little bit about him.
Class individual. One of the things that Donovan is working on and he can very easily attain, which is to be the best quarterback in the arena of football. He has the ability to do that. We're thrilled to have him here in Albuquerque. I mean, we really are. He is a true leader, believer in the team. We're very, very fortunate, Scott. We've had some great quarterbacks the last few years here. And with Brian Randall and Casey Peters, Donovan is the best of them all. Only getting better, too.
Right. One of the things that doesn't get talked about enough with him, and I know this back when he played with Rocky Long's teams, and then he played with under Michael Oxley a couple of years when he was injured, and then came back and had a pretty good season. He is as tough as nails. He's
a big boy, and like I said, it's hard to believe he's improving.
All the injuries that too, but all the injuries that he has had, if he can get up, he gets up.
No doubt. He's the leader of our team. He is the Duke City Gladiators. And so I'm excited to see him play this week and next week. I'm excited.
Well, you brought up something that I'm excited to ask you about. You said that he's improving because I'm a big Donovan Portery fan.
Right.
Because, like I said, he was here when I got here to town. So I had the opportunity to call his games. What is it about him that's getting better?
I believe I would say it's his understanding of the game. He's a gunslinger. And gunslingers love to throw that rock.
He used to love to run, too, until his injuries.
Right. And one of the things with his interception, we've got to get him to get his interceptions down. He leads the league in interceptions. And if we can get him to blend the philosophy of when to gunsling, when not to gunsling, that's the work that we're doing with him right now. And to think that as prolific as he is, to think that he can get better, there's no doubt that he has the ability to be the best indoor quarterback in the country in any league.
Now, you mentioned the interceptions, and I have to ask this, and we're with Dominic Bramante, the head coach of the Duke City Gladiators. In terms of interceptions, some of the touchdown passes that I've seen, only the person making the catch was going to be able to make the catch for the touchdown. He throws such an intricate ball. How much of that is a detriment to him, maybe trying to put that ball in the wrong place? Because he's not just throwing bad passes, I don't think.
I don't know if the word would be detriment. He's fearless. So he doesn't, if it's a window this big, he says, I can put it in there. And so we want to scale him back a little bit, and get him to understand what we want each drive. And he's buying into it, because he's a pure gunslinger. You've been to a Gladiator game. You've watched a Gladiator game. He wants to sling the ball. He believes he can put it anywhere. And, on a pro level, that's tough, to put it in there. So, but he's going to be exciting to watch Saturday night, that's for sure.
Coach, I want to touch upon what you said earlier about best team in Albuquerque, best team in New Mexico. One of the things that is really, really good about the Duke City Gladiators, the quality of play from when you basically just shoveled in a team with 2 weeks to go. You didn't even have a field. You didn't have boards. You had nothing. And you put a team on the field that was actually competitive that year. Last year, missed the playoffs by one game, and this year, a very good team. The quality of play is better and better.
I would say that's probably an accomplishment on the football end. This is only our third season.
But you're getting the players
we're not 3 years old yet.
Right. But you're getting good players to come in here. You're getting good quality of play, and it shows on the field. It's a fun, in my opinion, it's a fun product to watch.
We've beaten every team in the CIF except one.
Right.
And we're not finished with that team yet.
And that one, it's always been close games.
Always, always. Yes, we've been very competitive in Albuquerque. One of the things that we talked about in our very first press conference was to bring a culture of winning here. And we really have done that. to won the kind of games that we've won, and we're only 2.5 years old, really is a credit to everybody that works within his organization. It's a credit to all the players that have been a part of our organization the last 2.5 seasons. And we really expect bigger things to come.
Right.
To build a culture of winning in football in New Mexico, I think everybody feels the challenge in that. Because we're trying to get an identity here in New Mexico in football, from the high school level to the, to the college level, to the pro level.
What about in terms of just, I mean, you haven't had a game at home in a long time. But in terms of attendance,
6 weeks.
It seems like it's gotten not where you want it to be, but it continues to improve.
Well, I think we have to take some of the responsibility on our end too. If you want a crowd, you got to go out and get it. And our team is very, very small. I'm talking about our administrative team. They work so hard around the clock. There's only so many hours in the day. We really haven't gone out and gotten the fans that, we really want, should have. I think this week we're going to get a big crowd. We've got a nice giveaway. I-9 Sports is sponsoring the first 2,500 to come in through the gates. Thundersticks, which should create a great atmosphere
great
in their Saturday night.
Well, here's one of the things, and you mentioned Thundersticks, and this is perfect, Coach, because one of the things, no matter what the amount of people in the seats, people that go to the games are engaged in the game, and they're into the game. They're loud. They know when to cheer. Right. That's the one thing that has impressed me. People that show up don't just sit and watch. They're into the game.
We've told
And that's
everybody.
hard to get people to be engaged. So that's a testament to you guys right there.
We tell everybody, the only thing that we're going to guarantee if you come to a game is you're going to come to another one. Because it is exciting.
Yep.
It is a different brand of entertainment, from the, kids' bouncy houses, and we always have different bouncy houses every game. And, the kids, the parents want to come to the game, maybe enjoy the game. The kids are running around, they're keeping one eye on the kids, one eye on the game. Well, at our place, we have a secured area where they don't have to worry about it. Kids are in bouncy houses. We have free haircuts, barbershop.
I know.
Licensed barbershop. Kids come get free haircuts.
Who came up with that idea?
I would have to say John Lopez. He really made it a game day. Not only
that's unbelievable.
But mommies get to come and get free massages.
Nice.
So, mommies
that part
get free
I didn't
massages.
know. So, okay.
It's a happening.
You got a freaking panda sitting in the stands.
It's a DJ Panda. It's crazy. And then you talk about our free tailgate party.
Right.
4 o'clock. If you show up at 4 o'clock at our tailgate party, show your ticket for the game.
I like the way that you made that an official event this year. Exactly. I think that was huge.
Yeah, exactly. And there's DJ and music and vendors, and it's a happening. You come to a Gladiator game, it's a happening. If you get there at 4 o'clock, eat, drink, be merry, come watch a game. So affordable, for family fun, and then you're going to watch a crazy game.
Right.
Like the fans that are going to be here Saturday night, they're going to see a war. Literally, the fans that have been to Gladiator Venom games, they know what to expect Saturday night. So it's going to be an exciting evening.
We'll talk more about the game after the break, but you mentioned your staff. One of the guys, Andres Trujillo, we didn't have room when we had him on a couple of weeks ago for his title. Seems like he does a lot.
Andres.
Reaction.
You were probably better off that you didn't have room, because Andres likes to take over. You know what I'm saying? We've got many talented people.
Right.
Andres is one of the most talented people on our team.
Well, he used to be my producer on radio,
Really?
so I always bring up Andres.
He's a jack of all trades.
Yes, he is.
The amount of work that he does with the Duke City Gladiators, game day. We're all after games. We're all at our after game spots. Andres is still at the arena working. So he's a valuable member of the team.
Absolutely. He's Dominic Bramante, the head coach of the Duke City Gladiators. We'll come back with more in just a moment with him here on the Sports Desk. But first, the top 10 plays of the week.
Oh, no, it might be an own goal. And that's a goal.
came out to meet it, and then it went through her hands. Sydney, box, still over the ball. There we go. Dance right off the bat. This is Springer. He missed a free kick, and he misses a big kick. Here we go. Pure top corner. The rush on PKs. 4-3 on the penalty kick. Barella with a shot.
There it is.
There's a third. Beautiful build-up. Box. There's the equalizer.
Is it Vega?
It is.
Jason Vega.
They saved Marquez.
And it's over. Wow.
Marquez comes up huge. He stops two of them. The winner of PK. Oh, yes.
And Eddie.
Visit the Frontier Restaurant. Due to heavy construction on Central, take lead or coal coming north or south. The Frontier Restaurant. Get your Frontier fix on. Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
Altitude Sports Grill is where Albuquerque's sports fans won't miss a game. With locally crafted brews on tap and refreshingly crisp cocktails. Located in Hotel Cascada, Albuquerque residents find a staycation worth staying for. Catching Lobo sports, enjoying a beer on the beach, or wiping out, Hotel Cascada is home to your urban adventure. Affordable guest rooms, no-hassle water park parties, and much more.
Garden Sort's Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutt Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school letter jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Sure, you could get him a new car. You could also light a pile of money on fire. So maintaining this old car is your best option. Keep it running longer, stronger, with quality parts and a whole lot of Napa know-how.
And welcome back here to the Sports Desk. I'm Scott Galletti. Alden Iowani, our director, doing a fine job as always. Ed Nunez will join us next week, but right now, the head coach of the Duke City Gladiators, Dominic Bramante. And Coach, let's talk a little more nuts and bolts about the team. 35-28, you go on the road to beat Texas last week. Talk a little bit about that game.
A good hard win. We were up 27-7 at one point. You know, when you win a game on these levels, you always accept it, never mind on the road. We're thrilled to have our first win as a franchise against a great franchise like the Texas Revolution. We had, you know, Donovan Portery was on the money. We had some great receiver play from Cedric Johnson, and defensively, we shut them down, and so we're pretty thrilled. You know, I was wondering coming into the studios today, I know with your crack staff and stuff like that, are we going to have a Madam Deal sighting?
I'll leave that one alone. Why don't we have some highlights, though, while we're talking about that? It's a good segue to highlights. How's that?
I like that. Let's see what we got.
Let's have some highlights of the, I think Alden has some shots. I believe this is the Texas game, is it not?
That is.
They play on the red turf,
On the red carpet,
Wow.
exactly.
So explain what's going on here.
That is a phenomenal catch by Andre London. It was a back shoulder throw. He literally went up back shoulder, flipped over the wall, and landed on his head.
Yeah, I mean,
phenomenal catch.
See, that's the scary thing about arena football is those kind of plays are more the norm than not.
Exactly, and this was a toss sweep by the Revolution that we stretched the play out and stopped it at the line of scrimmage. Play action, touchdown pass to local Dexter Manley.
Even the goalposts are red there, huh?
Exactly. You know, everything they have is red. Great catch. Cedric Johnson, I mean, our guys, we just played really, really well. To go into a hostile environment like that in Dallas and come away victorious, not very many teams do that. Look at Cedric Johnson fighting for the end zone. That's what it was. Well, our backs are to the wall. Every game is an elimination game for us, a playoff game, and you need efforts like that. You see our guys flying over the wall to catch the ball, diving, driving. You know, it's exciting. It's an exciting time of year.
That's where the AHL hockey team plays also, so a very, very nice arena.
And it was, the field was not very accommodating for both teams because the ice is still down. And they put pallets, wooden pallets over the ice. Then padding on top of the wooden pallets in the carpet. It's not very comfortable, not very conducive to running and cutting.
Very interesting.
Very proud of the mighty men of the Duke City Gladiators to pull out that victory.
Now that snapped a two-game losing streak. Dodge City 65-62 and Amarillo 30-28. Man, those are close games.
You know, we're one play away in each game from being undefeated, literally. You know, and it is the way it is. We took on the challenge. So far we're still in it. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year with the schedule that we had, you know, you'd still be in a playoff hunt. Week 11, would you take it? I told you I'll take it.
Now that loss at Amarillo, 30-28. The interesting part about that game, and that's the frustrating part also, Andreas explained that game a couple of weeks ago, the fact that you only gave up 30 points against a team that has scored, what, about 80 or 90 the game before?
They scored 96.
96. They scored 96. You held them to 30 at their place.
We held them to 131 yards total. Total offense, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns. Nate Davis did not have a touchdown score throw.
Which is saying something.
Which is saying something. You know, that being said,
Nate
that's
Davis,
in the past.
you know, when we talked about Donovan Portery, Nate Davis is phenomenal in the arena league.
Outstanding quarterback. But that's behind us, Scott.
Right.
You know, we've got an enormous challenge that we really look forward to Saturday.
Well, that challenge is Amarillo, and that challenge is holding them down again. So how did you do it last time? How do you emulate that?
We just got to put our hand down in the grass or in the turf and drive. You know, it's a cumulative determination by the team.
Good defense is possible in this league. When you see a 30-28 game after all those scores, that means A, those are two good teams playing each other, and B, you know, there's a good little rivalry going.
We've held the top offenses in this league in the last month to minimum scores.
Right.
And listen, that's a credit to our guys. The 24, now it's the 20 mighty men of the Duke City Gladiators play hard, they practice hard, they believe. I give them a whole ton of credit on taking on the challenge of the schedule this year, being on the road. We haven't had a home game in 6 weeks.
Right.
Being on the road, and we're ready to give the fans a great show Saturday night.
Yeah. What needs to happen for you guys to win? And after you answer that, maybe back up that question. Talk about some of the leaders and what they've meant to this team.
Well, the offense has to move the ball. The best way to stop Nate Davis is to keep him on the sidelines. Mm-hmm. So our offense has to move the ball, which, you're talking about the offense, Donovan Portery, Antonio Bray, our running back, is outstanding. Our up front, our protection, Darryl Johnson, UNM, Sherman Carter, Wandale Rutledge, Donovan hardly gets touched. We're very, very proud. We talk about that UNM connection. We're very, very proud of our UNM connection.
Right.
On the defensive side, that UNM connection is Fatou Ulale, a defensive
very
end.
Good player.
Brett Bowers is another one of our defensive ends. Ayub Hamida is our nose. Jay Marlatchison, another UNM grad, is one of our defensive linemen. Landrick Brody is a former UNM player, is our offensive coordinator.
Right.
First-time offensive coordinator, and he's doing an outstanding job. We are very, very proud. Jason Serta, who is one of the best football players in this league. Jason Serta is not a great defensive player.
What makes him so good? Because I'm glad, I was hoping that you would bring him up because he is everywhere.
He is a great, great football player. He goes to the Madam Deal School of Fitness, and Madam has done a great job with him in getting him in tip-top shape. But he is, when I tell you, he is relentless. That's the thing that I would label Jason Serta, relentless. We moved him from safety to MAC, and he's changed how teams attack us defensively, because the first thing they do is they ask, where's Jason Serta?
Right.
How do we block Jason Serta? And that's a fact. He's changed the culture of our defense, Jason Serta. And so I think that he's definitely going to be up for the defensive MVP of the league.
He should, because he's literally everywhere. And I don't know how he does it. The couple of times that I've seen him in person, the other times that I've seen the games on TV here on ProView Comcast Channel 26, he is phenomenal. And he does it every day, and he is about as consistent as a defensive player that you'll see.
He's exciting. Fans, if you haven't seen, you want to see a real football player, come on down. But, our secondary, Ray Little, wonderful veteran, Dontrell Johnson, Darian Winston, Ray Juvie Berry. We have got athletes.
Yes, you do.
Out here playing football.
Yep.
And so we're very, very proud of them. Very, very proud of our other receivers. Julian Walker, real pro. Dexter Manley. We talked about Cedric and Andre London. We've got some weapons. We've got some firepower, and that's the reason we're as competitive as we are.
What goes on next? Number one, you have 2 home games, and then after that, looking ahead, what goes on next?
We don't look ahead. We not to take a page out of Bill Belichick. The only thing on our mind right now is Amarillo.
Right.
Because if we lose to Amarillo, we're eliminated from the playoff race. So we don't look ahead. All our focus this week is on Amarillo. We had a great practice this morning because we practice early in the morning, and so we'll be ready. We'll be ready, and then maybe if you'll have me down the road, we'll have an opportunity to look ahead. We'll talk about the future, but right now, the future is the Amarillo Venom.
Right. Well, the future is trying to get into the playoffs. You came so close last year. Just looking at the next 2 games. What do those 2 teams bring to the table that you have to really? We talked about Nate Davis for Amarillo, but what else comes to the table?
Well, you're talking about 2 very good franchises, the 2 top teams in the division after we knocked off the Revolution. The Revolution were in first place and now dropped. And now I believe Dodge City and Amarillo are tied for first. And so what a great opportunity for us to come play. We're going to have to play error-free football. We played both of them in their houses, which is tough places to play, and we played them tough. You know, we played Dodge
59
City
to 52.
Played Dodge City a few weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, had the lead. They came back on a kickoff return with less than 10 seconds to win the game.
Yeah, that was 65-62.
It was, you know, that was a heartbreaker.
Yes, it was. I mean, you're putting up points.
Where, you know, listen, when you got to go on the road, I don't care who you're playing. You know, it's like Madam Deal says that, you know, winning on the road, championship teams have to win on the road. And so we were able to be successful in Dallas. Now we've got to hold serve at home.
Adam had that look, by the way, so I don't know. Well, Coach, it's been great talking to you, obviously. I love having you on. Final words.
Hey, man, come out Saturday night, Albuquerque. We need you. Show up. First 2,500, get the Thunder Sticks. You know, let's give Amarillo everything we can do.
Can you imagine how loud that place is going to be with the Thunder? I mean, it's loud without the Thunder
We're
Sticks.
going to test Adam Dill's skill set at calling a game with all that noise.
Sounds good. Thanks as
Scott.
always,
Thanks
Coach.
for having me, man.
Dominic Bramante, the head coach of the Duke City Gladiators. Easy for me to say. He's our guest here. We'll come back with more on the Sports Desk.
I am never getting married. Never. Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
I love it here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, talk to State Farm agent Michelle Rudolph or Marty Size in Albuquerque.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Hello, mate. It's me, Rusty the Sports Clown. Just kidding, I don't speak French. Check me out, it's gonna be so much fun. See ya.
Hey Lobo fans, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Samantha.
Jaguar Land Rover Albuquerque has been a family-owned business since 1988. The 2017 Jaguar F-Pace has been named the winner of the 2017 World Car of the Year and World Car Design of the Year.
Land Rover's signature terrain response system is flawless against any curveball New Mexico weather can throw at you.
We have a class-leading extended warranty on all Jags and Land Rovers and one of the greatest pre-owned inventories in the state of New Mexico.
Call 505-797-3600 to schedule a test drive.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
For 55 years, people have bought trucks from Tillery in Los Lunas. We have a great selection of vehicles, the quality service department, and some of the best deals in the state. But most importantly, we found people prefer to buy trucks from people who actually drive trucks.
Tillery is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Locally owned and operated, located in Las Lunas, right off I-25, exit 203. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. with not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Geckos, off Academy and in Nob Hill. Visit the Frontier Restaurant. Due to heavy construction on Central, take lead or coal coming north or south. The Frontier Restaurant. Get your Frontier fix on.
Car Crafters.
And welcome back to the Sports Desk. Scott Galletti. We are indeed joined by Ed Nunez as nice, pleasant surprise having him come in on the show. Well, you are a co-host, so.
Yeah, I know. I was able to sneak away and make it for these last two segments, so I'm glad I was.
Yeah, I know you have a very busy work schedule, but let's talk a little bit. And we had Dominic Bramante, the head coach of the Duke City Gladiators, on with us. And the Gladiators, you're very familiar with them, so you can kind of add on to that, having done most of their games on the broadcast stream for radio. And you know, they're 5-5 right now. Big win last week, 35-28 at Texas.
You know what? There's a game that they've, for whatever reason, they've been losing those close games at the end. You know, I was following at the end. Portery threw the game-winning touchdown pass, so that was good. You know, they've been close, and they got some help from some other teams, so they're still in the playoff hunt. I know Coach Bramante is very excited and enthused about the game Saturday against Amarillo. But there were some games that I feel like, you know, again, they lost a couple games very close. You know, Amarillo, they've lost 3 games by 6 points. And frustrating for the fans, frustrating for the Gladiators, frustrating for Coach Bramante, John Lopez, the whole organization on down when you lose like that. I think, though, just hearing Coach Bramante talk about it, everyone's excited and enthused. You know, you want to get over the hump against a team that you feel like you're as good as. Right. You've seen the Venom. You're impressed with Nate Davis. He's a very good quarterback. Last time they limited him to 143 yards passing, picked him off twice, at a pick 6 by Jason Serta. So let's see what kind of defensive game plan they come out with on Saturday. I think that it all starts and stops with quarterback Donovan Portery, threw 5 touchdown passes on Saturday. So, you know, he's the one that's going to drive them to the playoffs or make a deep run or not. And he's had some fantastic games, and he's had some games where he hasn't been so fantastic. And, you know, again, though, if you're a lover of professional indoor football and you're looking for excitement, scoring, all those things in explosive, constricted areas, explosive plays, I don't know why you wouldn't go watch. I mean, I've gotten addicted. You know, I've told you that every week by watching them, by following them, by being able to call their play-by-play on the stream radio, as you mentioned. So it's a great product, and I don't know. Hopefully, the city of Albuquerque comes out this Saturday to watch that game.
What do you think needs to happen on Saturday for them to win? Because you've seen all those Amarillo games. I did the one. You've seen the road games.
Okay, thing is, here's the thing. Donnie Duncan, the former University of New Mexico quarterback, plays for the Venom. He's picked off Portery 4 times in 3 games. You know, so Donnie Duncan's been kind of a thorn in the side of, you know, again, and I thought the last game up in Amarillo, the pressure up the middle bothered Portery. I really did. He threw some passes off his back foot. He was unsure about, and a couple of receivers might have broken off some patterns. You know, I'm just guessing. But there were some things to the defense. It was a shame to waste that defensive effort by Duke City because they played very well. They pressured Davis. I mean, 9 of 27 for 143. That's an excellent defensive game, and it's too bad that you know, the Gladiators didn't come away with a victory. But, you know, again, there's 2 games down in Amarillo 2 months ago. You know, the Gladiators have a 1st and goal at the 6. And, you know, we're down by 4. And, you know, if we go in, we're up by 3, and he throws an interception. So it's been things at the end of the game. Gladiators up here, when they played the Venom the first time, they go to overtime. And, you know, we score on the first play of overtime. They score on the first play of overtime. Right. But instead of going for the conversion, they went for 2. So there's been games, I think, that they're right there, but they just can't get over that hump. And I know Coach Bramante, again, watching him leave here with his hand and, you know, his fist in the air, you haven't given up as far as wanting to break through. You know, you feel like you're as good or better. And I think the talent level, you mentioned that. You mentioned the talent level last year. The talent level is pretty equal, I think. You know, because if you lose 3 games by 6 points, you're right there.
Right.
But I'll say this too, that it's hard to say in high school and college. I can tell my guys, okay, you know what, we'll get them. We'll get them in high school. We'll get them next time in college. This roster has been built pretty well. I think the Duke City Gladiator roster I'm talking about, they've got some explosive playmakers. They did lose Cobb. They lost Kyle Patterson. They lost another player to the professional ranks at the CFL. And but still, I think there's enough playmakers on the Gladiators to make a run for the playoffs.
Absolutely. As we look ahead here, we'll look back right now. And another team that you're familiar with, having done the PA announcing for, and that's the University of New Mexico baseball team. And what a ride they had to end their season. They ended up winning the Mountain West Championship outright after losing 5 of the last 6 games.
Well, one of the games that I did was, I believe, last Friday night. Last Friday night. And Nevada broke out the sticks, man. They did. Echavia, I can't remember some of their other, Kromizdak.
I think he was 4 for 4 with 7 RBIs, or 4 or 5 for 7 RBIs.
17-9 victory for Nevada, which, by the way, was a 4-hour, 15-minute game. 4 hours and 15 minutes. Now I'm inside, it
was 4:18 to be exact,
okay.
But who's splitting hairs?
Right, so I'm inside and I'm getting
According to the box score, it was 4:18.
Robert Portnoy has the window open and finally he shuts because I'm cold. So finally, and I'm thinking, but I love it. I can't complain because I like doing the PA. I'm not sitting there thinking, man, this is crazy. I hate it. Of course you want the game to finally end, but Nevada broke out the sticks on Friday night.
Well, here's the thing. When they had a 12-3 lead and the Lobos came back with 6 runs to make it 12-9, I was telling people around me, telling people in the booth through the window, they're going to come back and win this game, because I actually thought they would. Then they ended up giving up the runs and never mounted an offensive comeback after that.
No,
that surprised me, actually, but they ended up making amends the next day on Saturday. But that last Nevada surge put the game away.
I'll tell you what, I think you and I talked about this too, not having Jack Zellner in the lineup, that hurts.
It's huge.
Right, 12 home runs, 56 RBIs, that's a lot of firepower there. Plus,
it changes
a lefty in the bat.
It changes, the lefty really hurt him, but it changes how the person before Zellner is pitched to and the person after.
Well, he tried to put in Brandon Langdon. And Brandon Langdon
actually did well.
Okay, he had not had a hit. I heard, you and Robert Portnoy, I heard you guys' voices. He hadn't had a hit, and all of a sudden, they shifted on him real well. They really did. They played him well. Those two would have been hits, and if they don't shift on him.
Right.
But when you're piecemealing, nothing against Brandon Langdon. He's a fine player. But when you're missing a senior, plus how many starts has Zellner had? Straight starts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the leadership in the clubhouse. He's one of the finest Lobos we've seen play here. You just don't throw guys in. Yeah, I get it. You put Gregory and put Lang in. Matt Villalobos had a big home run on Saturday. Andre V. Hill played very well. And Ray Birmingham is an excellent coach, excellent. But when nobody can, when you have a bat like that and you're missing him, it's not as if you try to piecemeal 5 guys to make 1, and it's hard to do because not only that, Zellner brings the bat and the average, the defense, but the leadership as a Lobo, as a senior. The people listen to Jack Zellner. Mm-hmm. Jack Zellner has been there. So when he talks in the clubhouse, people stand up and listen. And so when he's not in the lineup, it very much hurts them, very much.
Saturday, it was Adam Deal on the call along with Tom Dragmeister, and they saw a wild one. The Lobos were given up for dead, but they came back, and they came back with a flurry, end up winning. You mentioned Andre Vigil, his defensive play, throwing out a man at the plate during a big surge, which the next guy ended up getting a hit to lead off the next inning. I mean, this could have been a monstrous inning, and it was Andre Vigil's defense, which he is an outstanding defensive player in right field. That turned the tide.
Well, you know what? When I heard that, I was listening on the radio, and I heard, I heard what the defensive play. And again, Coach Birmingham uses him in as a late defensive replacement in the outfield. So he came up with a big play. They really needed that, and we mentioned Matt Villalobos with a huge home run. And they broke out the sticks. All of a sudden, they broke out. There were some home run. There were some balls that they hit, though. To be fair, on even Thursday or Friday, Jared Meng hit a couple near the fence, and the wind held him up. Jared Meng has been tattooing the ball for the last month and a half. He's really been hitting well. You know, I always get a kick out of his mom because you can always hear, "Come on, Mango!" You know, you hear her voice.
Right.
We laugh up in the press box every time we hear that. Her voice, you know, it's like a coach. I asked her one time when I saw her, I said, "Did you ever coach? Because you've got that voice."
There's about 3, 4, or 5 voices that resonate at one time or another through the stands, and it's kind of comical. But I mean, hey, it's parents being parents.
You know what? I love that she's there every game. Every game. You know, I just pick out
a lot of these parents are there on the road too.
And you know what?
Which is amazing. So
this is a good team. This is exciting that they won.
It's a very good team.
Plus, you know, when you talk about class acts as coaches, you know, we've mentioned Paul Weir. We don't know him very well, but when we had him on the show, I got a real good. You had him on for a couple of innings. He did some color with you. I heard him, you know, from the press box.
Right.
You talk about class acts. When I saw Ray Birmingham inducted into the Hall of Fame, I don't know him, but I got this feeling like, wow, what a, you know, he made sure he acknowledged his parents. His parents, you know, mom and dad stand up. I just get a good feeling when I hear him talk. You know, and so you wish success for people like that.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look at the final Mountain West standings right now, and it was wild for the Mountain West standings. There's the curtain, there's the standings. New Mexico on top, followed by San Diego State, Fresno State, and Nevada. Will stop there for now because the top 4 teams got into the playoffs. Nevada winning 2 of the 3 games against New Mexico this past weekend. That put them over Air Force, who had finished their conference schedule a week ago. So Air Force was on the outside watching, and Nevada ended up beating New Mexico in 2 of the 3 games, and they end up in the 4th spot. So, you know, the weird part about it, in the next segment, we'll look at the schedule for the Mountain West Tournament, the complete schedule. But it is going to be New Mexico playing Nevada, and then San Diego State, Fresno State, basically rematches of last week.
Well, you look at it, and the final overall record kind of surprised me about the Lobos. You know, 25-25, a 500 record. I don't think that's really indicative of the season they had. They did have some ups and downs, but that kind of surprised me. But in the conference, they're 19-9, and they had to go down to the last day, almost the last at bat, the last out. You know, they did have an 11-6 win, but, you know, they were watching San Diego State and Fresno State to see how they were doing. So it really almost came.
Their schedule was actually 28-25. I think.
Okay.
25. They weren't 500. They were a few games. I believe I mistyped that. It should have been 20. I believe it was 28-25-1.
Okay. So, you know, the Lobos again having to go almost down to the last out, the last at bat. They hung in there though because they had lost 5 straight going into Saturday, and I don't think people and they themselves were very confident about where they were going to end up. You know, it looked like they might cave in and blow it, but I got to give them credit. A real gutty, gritty win on Saturday, and that's a testament to Coach Ray Birmingham. It really is, and he had said this too. I don't see a lot of dog in us on Thursday, a lot of fight in us. He was very disappointed with the effort that they had on Thursday and Friday, and maybe something that he said as at a meeting resonated with the veterans. Again, Matt Villalobos.
29-25-1 is their correct record.
Matt Villalobos doesn't even get a lot of at-bats. He really doesn't. You know, and so for him to come off Saturday and hit a big, huge home run, and I think those back-to-back homers, if I'm right. Mm-hmm. Those back-to-back home runs that game. So they took care of business when they needed to.
Yeah, he had a ground rule double, and then he had that home run. So, I mean, those are huge at-bats.
Oh, yeah, no question. And that's what you want to see in your team. Don't give up. You know, go deep in the count, take pitches, keep battling. I'll tell you what, the wind played havoc almost all. I think Saturday wasn't so bad. But Thursday and Friday, the wind played a lot of havoc out there at Santa Ana Starfield.
Once again, with the 29 wins this year, New Mexico, #1 in the Mountain West. But then we'll go to the schedule after the break, Alden, so hold on to that until a little bit later. We'll do that in the final segment. But you look at the 38 wins. It's hard to believe with the season that the Lobos have had. They actually had less wins than San Diego State and Fresno State because you think about it, they had better seasons.
Right, and that's kind of hard to believe that. I think you're right. It's kind of hard to.
They had a tougher schedule for sure, and a better RPI going into the final couple of weeks.
But if you look at it, the Lobos' tailspin can be directly correlated to when they lost Jack Zellner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he gets hit in the hand. They're losing. They did lose a game with him in there on that road swing, but he gets hit in the hand with a pitch, and after that, boy, I'll tell you something. And the guy had been just really raking the ball. He really had. So it's hard to lose a guy like a Jack Zellner, but give the Lobos credit. The last day of the season, they came through when they needed to.
We're going to take a break here, come back with one more segment on the Sports Desk.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
Altitude Sports Grill is where Albuquerque's sports fans won't miss a game. With locally crafted brews on tap and refreshingly crisp cocktails. Located in Hotel Cascada, Albuquerque residents find a staycation worth staying for. Catching Lobo sports, enjoying a beer on the beach, or wiping out, Hotel Cascada is home to your urban adventure. Affordable guest rooms, no-hassle water park parties, and much more.
Garden Sort's Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutt Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school leather jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Sure, you could get him a new car. You could also light a pile of money on fire. So maintaining this old car is your best option. Keep it running longer, stronger, with quality parts and a whole lot of Napa know-how.
And we are back here on the Sports Desk. Scott Coletti on hand along with Ed Nunez. Alden Iowani, our fine director as always, keeping us on the air. And Ed, now time to talk a little bit about the schedule. We have the complete Mountain West schedule. The tournament at Santa Ana Starfield didn't mention the fact that the Lobos won this year. The champion hosted the tournament, so it went down to the final day. Nobody knew where the tournament was going to be. It's going to be at Santa Ana Starfield.
And that's, you know, again, it's great that it's here, but it's also great for the city of Albuquerque, tourism, economy, you know, money to the people coming in from out of town and spending money here in Albuquerque. Helps in a lot of different ways.
Let's take a look at the first slide here, as we will have Thursday's schedules. We're going to show you the entire schedule. Thursday is going to be the first one, and you look at Thursday, game number 1, they're all numbered games. Number 2, San Diego State against number 3, Fresno State. And the second game, number 1, New Mexico against number 4, Nevada. All these teams played each other a week ago.
So, you know, we looked at Hargroves last time for Nevada. Does he pitch for Nevada, or was that Air Force? I can't remember.
He's Air Force.
Okay, so I'm not sure who Nevada's ace is, but, you know, my question is, will Ray Birmingham go with Luis Gonzalez, or who will he start? I mean, Luis Gonzalez, I don't know if he pitched last series. Did he pitch? I don't think he did.
He pitched, I thought he pitched on, well, no. Yeah, he pitched.
Thursday?
I think he pitched Thursday.
Okay, so I wonder if he's going to go with, who is he going to pitch?
He might.
Is my
he
question.
Might go, yeah.
Because, you know, that guy there is dynamic. Not only is he a great pitcher, great center fielder, that guy he has to be in the lineup. You know what? We mentioned the players they have, Zellner, Stajahar. Gosh, they have a great lineup. They really do. They really do. But he's such a key because not only does he bring it from the mound, but, you know, at bat as well. So he's a big key for them in this tournament, no question. So I wonder if they're going to go with him or not. I wonder.
And it's San Diego State and Fresno State last week. What a series they had. And Fresno State, they've been one of the hottest teams in the Mountain West.
You know what, they sure have, and it was funny because everyone was mentioning scores. You mentioned scores to us. You know, you gave us your scores up in the press box when I was doing PA, and everybody up there was giving us the score of San Diego State. And so there were some nerve-wracking minutes. You know, when not knowing if the Lobos were going to get in or not, because it didn't look like it the way they were playing on the field. It didn't look like it. But then give them credit Saturday because they really came out of that slump in a big way. They really did.
Well, here's the other thing. Fresno State on this big run, and earlier in the year, everyone talked about the biggest weakness being the pitching. Now they're talking about the pitching of Fresno State being the biggest strength.
Thing is here at Santa Ana Star Field, when you play, and you said this, you said this on numerous broadcasts, the wind plays such a factor. You said that. You know, the game you did against Air Force that they've been replaying, you know, I've seen it like 4 times. You said that. You know, the ball is, you don't know where it's going to go.
It seems like it's the easiest to pitch when the ball is just blowing out the center or blowing out the right.
We saw
but the games that you and I have seen, we've seen balls that were going toward the bullpen, blowing out the right center field. That's when it's swirling. That's probably when it's the absolute toughest.
We saw a routine fly ball by the Air Force turn into a 2-run home run.
Right.
And it looked
that was the other one.
Yeah, I can't. It was Collier out there. It was Danny Collier out there in left field. Collier looks like he's got to play at the track, and
he was about 15 feet from the warning track, and the ball just sailed out.
Went in the trees.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my goodness, that looked like just a routine fly ball. So I think, you know what, Scott, the weather and the wind will play a factor for any pitcher. So let's see what happens.
Let's go to Friday's schedule now. This is where it gets fun. You got game number 3, the loser of game 1 against the loser of game 2, i.e. elimination game. Then you got game 4, the winner of game 1 against the winner of game 2.
I'll tell you what, again, a lot of baseball out there and great matchups. I don't think I'm going to be doing the PA out there, but I kind of want to go out there just to watch, you know, because this is going to be some good baseball. It really is.
Saturday. Check the time here on Saturday, by the way, 1 and 5 o'clock. It'll be the winner of Game 3 against the loser of Game 4. And then, guess what? The winner of Game 4 will take on the winner of Game 5. So the winner of that elimination game actually plays a doubleheader that day.
Oh, boy. I'll tell you what, those doubleheaders, man.
That's the tough part about a regional. You don't want to be in the loser's bracket because you're going to have to play a doubleheader to get into the game. And then, by the way, and we'll go to the next one, Game 7, which is on Sunday if necessary. That would mean that the winner of Game 4 would win the Game 6 and force a if necessary game. We like to call them if games in softball, but that's what this would be. The only way that this game gets played is if the team out of the winner's bracket gets a loss.
I think you don't want those doubleheader games or if games. Sometimes a team goes through all that and really builds some character and feels even better about their victories. But of course, you don't want to be on that. You know, again, if you lose those, sometimes some people will say, "We're okay. We can still get back there." And if you do happen to win, you know, again, you can say, "I went through all the mudslides and everything else, and we won anyway." So let's see what happens.
Final minute, Ed, your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, I'm sorry I missed the segment with Coach Bramante. He's always an exciting guy to have on, and good luck to the Gladiators on Saturday. Hope they can break through against the Venom. They've been their nemesis for the 3 games that they played them. And Scott, best of luck to the Lobos, man. Best of luck to the Lobos.
Yeah, best of luck to Ray Birmingham and the Lobos. They are working very hard. They want to make it to the NCAA tournament. I think this is going to be the only way that they can get in. I don't think the RPI is going to be good enough anymore, especially with that late season slide to get an at-large. So it's win or go home pretty much for just about any of these teams. Lobos, if they move on, obviously we'll continue to cover them here in the upcoming weeks. For Ed Nunez and Alden Iowani, our fine director, I'm Scott Coletti. We'll talk to you next week on the Sports Desk.